These are my audience members for my persuasive speech. Okay. My name is Mariana and I'll be persuading you into believing that the Stanley Cup is overhyped. The Stanley Cup has recently become mass-produced and a worldwide phenomenon, but I'll be persuading you into believing that the Stanley Cup is overhyped because of its harmful impacts on individuals and the environment. So, I'll ask you this. Stanley Cup or garbage cup? Are these Stanley Cups producing more waste than plastic water bottles? And is it becoming a competition worldwide to get an army of Stanley Cups? A lot of people say that the recent trend for the Stanley Cups is that it's very customizable. But is this really enough for the consumer? Does this really bring out pure joy and expression towards an individual? Or does it just destroy their pockets? So, to begin, I'll be explaining what the Stanley Cup is. The Stanley Cup Company was founded in 1913 by William Stanley Jr. and has over 100 years in the market, which makes you believe what schemes have they been up to that causes the Stanley Cup to recently become popular. A lot of people say that the reason for the Stanley Cup trend is because of the cup itself. The cup is made out of sustainable steel, which is the motto that the company lives by. They live by reducing the demand of disposable products, hence the Stanley Cup. To further emphasize the Stanley Cup is made out of stainless steel and has multiple features that make it very functional and has longevity. So these features are the handle, the stainless steel, the bottom of the shape which fits into cars' cup holders, and its leak and spill-proof cap. Or not. So, apart from these unique features, the Stanley Cup is also very customizable. It has multiple shapes, colors, and accessories. But does this really justify the price of a Stanley Cup? The Stanley Cup ranges from $35 to $45 to even $60, which I don't believe is a fair price tag. To further emphasize this price tag, the price ranges from $14 to $60, and a lot of people have been competing to get one of these expensive cups. Across America, it has been seen numerous times in Target that many individuals jump over counters in Starbucks just to get one of these cups, along with stampeding across Targets for a limited edition Stanley Cup. Do we really need a Stanley Cup? Do we really need a limited edition Stanley Cup that it comes to the point where you need to stampede over people? I don't think so. Apart from this competition, it also has created bullying in schools for having a Stanley Cup or not having a Stanley Cup. A mother reported to Fox Carolina that her 5-year-old came home upset because she didn't have a Stanley Cup and said she got a knockoff Stanley Cup for Christmas. This makes you wonder, do we really want 5-year-olds carrying around this massive thing? I don't think so. The 5-year-old later expressed disappointment and shame towards her parents for not having a Stanley Cup, feeling like she doesn't fit in. This has become a worldwide issue for people and their mental health. Many people can't support buying multiple Stanley Cups for $60 price ranges. This makes people feel like they don't fit into society because they don't own one of these horrendous cups. This horrendous cup has also caused overconsumption for the industry. The Stanley Cup Company went from $70 million in 2020 to $750 million in 2023. This has contributed greatly to climate change because of the production of steel. This overproduction has also caused many to This overconsumption has caused many to frequently be buying Stanley Cups instead of frequently using these Stanley Cups, which has been proven to not help the environment. Apart from this, the Stanley Cup, as I said before, is made out of stainless steel, but this means that it's prone to lead poisoning. So, do you really want to take the risk of getting lead poisoning from these horrendous cups? Don't think so either. Recently, the Stanley Cup Company had to have a recall of 84,000 Tea Blue stainless steel children cups and 3,600 Click Pick home children cups as well, which makes you believe, Do we really want to have our children getting lead poisoning and you yourself? The CDC says that no consumption of lead is healthy towards an individual, and specifically for children, it can even cause death. In conclusion, all the information I just presented relates back to my previous statement that Stanley Cups are overhyped. If you really want to buy a Stanley Cup, just buy one, the designated number for reusable water bottles.